My third spiritual awakening started with a telephone call from my mother. My daughter was 5 years old at the time, and she had just been visiting with my mother over the summer and had returned to our place. And my mother said something very strange to me. She said, "Your daughter is so lovely, so caring. You know, you used to be like that. What happened?" And this left me with a huge question in my mind, which opened up a new journey for me during this part of my life. And that was to find out what happened to me as a child, because my childhood that I remember started at the age of 14, and it was filled with hospital visits and nothing but pain, as far as I know. So when my mother had said that I was such a loving child at the age of 5, like my daughter is, and who I know to be an extremely caring and helpful person, what is it that happened to me in my childhood? So after this call, I started on a journey of self-discovery to rediscover the childhood that I couldn't remember prior to being 14 years old. And I was really driven to go and try and figure out what happened to me as a child. I went to a couple of different organizations, but the one that really opened the door for me was the Hoffman Institute in California. This is a 10-day self-reflection program, which allows us to dig into our childhood and understand what remnants from our childhood we still carry with us into our adulthood. And what I discovered during the Hoffman process was not really my inner child or my childhood, but I discovered really more balance for my life. Bob Hoffman put together a model for human consciousness that really makes sense. I mean, most of the models that you hear nowadays are talking about mind, body, and soul. That's not complete. And through the Hoffman process, I understood how it is incomplete. Hoffman uses what's called a quadrinity model, and that is that he's separating the intellect from the emotional self, which we know now is associated with our second brain, the brain that's in our gut, the nerve cells in our gut. So we have an intellectual self, we have an emotional self, and we have the body, which gives us signals through pain and other indications. And then we have our true self. On top of these four separations, which are pretty clear, there are the shadows that we carry with us. And these shadows exist within our true self, they exist within our intellect, and they exist with our emotional self. And the Hoffman process is one that helps people to, first of all, embrace these shadows as part of themselves, because very often the pain that we live through in life is that we're ignoring these shadows. We're not nourishing them and giving them light and helping us to reincorporate these shadows into ourselves and accept them and move forward. The shadows tend to keep us in the past, and that's not a healthy way to live your life. So through this process, I was able to really not search again for my childhood, but accept my childhood for what it was, that it was a learning experience. It was a painful learning experience, but it made me a very independent person. The struggles that I had to go through as a child made me independent. It made me self-sufficient. Um, and I have to embrace that and thank the universe for giving me that experience. So the Hoffman process is something that I can highly recommend for people to go through who are suffering with remnants of their childhood, whether it was a relationship with the father, the mother, or brothers and sisters during your childhood, to help understand how they're affecting your life today and receiving strategies to overcome these childhood memories and to incorporate them into your life and move forward.